fascinating stuff about this Wodan AI and how they're working in fintech.
Yeah.
It looks like they're trying to solve a big problem, right?
Yeah.
How to make sure all of this financial data that AI is starting to use is kept safe.
Yeah, that's right. It's a pretty fundamental problem.
Yeah.
And it's becoming more and more urgent
Yeah.
as we see AI getting, more and more integrated into all of these financial services.
Right.
So we're talking about things like KYC checks, credit scoring, fraud detection, all these areas where AI can be incredibly helpful.
Right.
But where obviously data leaks would be just catastrophic.
Yeah, so it really feels like you're walking a tightrope, right? You want all the advantages of AI, but you really can't ignore all the risks. One of the things that really stood out to me in here is how Wodan AI really highlights that both sides are vulnerable.
Absolutely.
The platforms and the users.
Yeah. I mean, for a fintech platform, a data breach, we're talking huge fines, reputation damaged, potentially, going out of business.
Right.
And then for an individual, having your financial data compromised, I mean,
The nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's a total nightmare. So how is Wodan AI stepping in? What are they doing to try to solve this?
They have this solution called Dropnir, right?
Yeah, Dropnir.
Okay.
And it's kind of interesting. The name itself is a nod to Norse mythology.
Oh, cool.
Referencing Odin's ring.
Okay.
Which was the symbol of power. And I think it's interesting how they kind of connect that to the idea of empowering users with secure AI.
I always appreciate those little touches that connect tech back to history or mythology.
Totally.
But let's talk about the nuts and bolts of how Dropnir actually works. What's the basic mechanism behind it?
Sure. So imagine Dropnir acting as this secure middleman between, let's say you're on a fintech app, you're applying for a loan, and then there's an AI model that's going to assess your creditworthiness.
Right. So Dropnir uses something called fully homomorphic encryption.
Okay.
FHE for short.
Yeah.
And basically what this does is it keeps your data encrypted through that whole process.
Okay, so my data's locked up tight, but how can the AI model actually use that data if he can't even read it?
Yeah. So that's the really ingenious part of FHE. Think of it this way. FHE allows calculations to be done on the data without ever decrypting it. So it's kind of like working with a locked box. You can manipulate it, you can combine it, but you never actually see what's inside.
So the AI is figuring out if I'm good for the loan based on this locked box of data without ever actually opening it up.
Exactly. So your app sends the encrypted data to Dropnir. Dropnir passes it to the AI. The AI does its calculations, kind of in this encrypted realm, sends back an encrypted result. Dropnir decrypts it using your key, and then gives the answer to the app.
Wow.
But the whole time, the AI never sees the data itself, just the encrypted version.
That sounds like a big step forward in terms of data privacy.
Okay.
But I want to step back for a second. What does this kind of security actually mean for the fintech industry as a whole?
Right.
It's obviously more than just, not having our data stolen.
Right.
What are the other advantages?
Well, Wodan AI highlights a couple of key advantages.
Okay.
The first one is that it lets companies extract insights from sensitive data without compromising privacy.
Oh, interesting.
So you can analyze customer behavior, identify trends, all of that,
Okay.
while the data is totally secure.
It's like giving fintech companies superpowers, but with a built-in safety mechanism.
Exactly. And it also leads to another big benefit, which is secure collaboration.
Okay.
So imagine fintech companies being able to work together, even competitors, to train AI models on these huge combined data sets.
Right.
So you get more accurate models, better results,
Yeah.
but no one's actually exposing their raw data.
That's huge, especially in such a competitive industry, right? I imagine there are some benefits in terms of regulations and compliance as well, right?
Absolutely.
Keeping everything on the up and up.
Yeah. I mean, with all these data privacy regulations,
Right.
Wodan AI's solution is really valuable. It helps them stay compliant by making sure that sensitive data is always encrypted.
Right. So that saves them from those huge fines.
Exactly.
To chase their reputation.
Huge fines, reputation damage, yeah.
And then, of course, there's the trust factor.
Yeah.
That seems like a huge component of this whole thing.
That's maybe the most important benefit.
Okay.
When fintech companies can show that they're serious about data security, they build trust with their customers.
Makes sense.
And when people trust that their data is safe, they're more likely to use those services, right?
Yeah.
So it creates a much stronger and more innovative fintech ecosystem overall.
Okay, so this all sounds really impressive, but how does it actually work in the real world? Can you give us some specific examples of how Wodan AI's technology could be used in fintech?
Yeah, sure. They highlight several areas in their materials: KYC solutions, credit scoring,
Okay.
fraud detection,
Yeah.
and even algorithmic trading.
Wow, that's a lot. Let's start with the KYC solutions. I know that's the whole process
Yeah.
of verifying a customer's identity.
Right.
It seems like it's really important for preventing fraud,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it means customers have to hand over a lot of very sensitive information. How does Wodan AI make that process safer?
Right. I mean, think about all the stuff that you typically upload during KYC: your passport,
Yeah.
driver's license, proof of address.
Yeah.
It's a, gold mine for identity thieves.
It's scary.
So with Wodan AI, all of that data can be processed without ever being exposed, in plain text. So the AI can verify your identity, but the data itself stays protected.
That makes me feel so much better. What about credit scoring? It seems like AI is playing a bigger and bigger role in that.
Yeah.
And that's where Wodan AI really shines. Those traditional credit scoring models,
Right.
they use so much personal financial data.
Tons of it,
Your
yeah.
income, debts, spending habits. It's kind of terrifying.
It is.
But with Wodan AI, those models can work without ever seeing that raw data.
Exactly.
So maybe I could get a more accurate credit score, even a better interest rate,
Potentially, yeah.
without having to reveal all of that personal information. I love it.
It's really powerful, and it goes even further. That secure data collaboration we talked about, that could help develop fairer credit scoring models.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which would be especially good for people who don't have typical credit histories.
That's a really great point.
Ah.
Okay, now I want to talk about the not-so-fun side of finance fraud detection. How can Wodan AI help with that?
Well, fraud detection is interesting because those AI models need to find patterns in these huge amounts of transaction data. But that data, a lot of times, has really sensitive information.
Yeah.
Like account numbers, transaction amounts.
It's what the criminals want.
Exactly.
It feels like you need that data to catch the bad guys.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't want to just hand it over to them, right?
Right. It's a tough balance.
Yeah.
But Wodan AI provides a solution. Because the data is always encrypted, AI models can identify suspicious activity,
Yeah.
but they never expose those sensitive details.
It's like giving the good guys a weapon,
Right.
but keeping the ammunition locked up.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. This is smart.
And it goes beyond just individual fraud.
Right.
Financial institutions could work together to find these really big fraud schemes without risking their customers' data.
Now, this all sounds very promising, but what about algorithmic trading? How does this secure AI fit into that world?
Well, with algorithmic trading, it's all about those complex AI models that are making really fast trading decisions
Right.
based on huge amounts of data.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, they use very sensitive market data that traders just don't want to share, even with the AI providers.
Oh, I bet that data is their secret sauce, right?
Exactly. It's their competitive edge.
Yeah.
But with Wodan AI, traders could feed that data into the AI models without exposing it in plain text. So the models can still make predictions,
Okay.
but the data remains completely secure.
So it's like having a supercomputer analyze your secret strategy, but without ever actually knowing what that strategy is.
That's the idea.
That is really wild.
And it just opens up so many possibilities for algorithmic trading.
Wow.
You can have collaboration, innovation. Imagine traders pooling all their data to make these incredibly powerful AI models.
That's the kind of future that Wodan AI is making possible.
That's what they're aiming for.
That's amazing. Okay, I'm sold on the concept, but let's go back to the technology for a minute.
Okay.
You mentioned a couple of other interesting features. Multi-model architecture, zero-knowledge proofs.
Yeah.
You tell us a little bit about those.
Sure. So the multi-model architecture just means that Wodan AI's platform can work with all kinds of different AI models.
Oh, okay.
Fintech companies have flexibility in choosing the right algorithm for whatever they're doing without having to worry about security.
It's like a toolbox instead of just one tool, right?
Exactly. And then zero-knowledge proofs, or ZKPs, those are fascinating. Imagine you want to prove that you used the correct AI model and you got trustworthy results, but without revealing anything about the model or the data itself. That's what ZKPs can do.
Okay. That sounds a little bit like magic. How do you prove that something is right without showing your work.
Yeah, it's like a magic trick. It's really clever cryptography.
Okay.
Essentially, ZKPs let you demonstrate that something is true
Okay.
without giving away any of the details about
Yeah.
why it's true.
Yeah.
So you can check the integrity of the AI without giving up any confidentiality.
Okay, I think my mind is officially blown. So Wodan AI has this very powerful platform with all these cool features.
Yeah.
But how practical is it for a fintech company to use?
Yeah.
Is it a complete overhaul of their systems?
No, not at all. They've made it very user-friendly.
Okay.
It's fully API-based, which means it can integrate into existing systems.
Gotcha.
They even offer model conversion, so companies can make their current AI models compatible with FHE without starting from scratch.
Okay, so they thought of everything.
Pretty much, yeah. And there's a central dashboard for managing everything. They have flexible deployment options, different cloud platforms, container platforms.
That's great.
The whole 9 yards.
But what about the cost? This sounds expensive. Is it only for the big players?
No, it's actually pretty accessible. They have a pay-per-use billing model, so you only pay for what you use.
Makes sense.
It's transparent, it's scalable, so it works for companies of all sizes.
Okay, so whether you're a small startup or a giant financial institution, Wodan AI has a solution for you.
Exactly.
This is some groundbreaking stuff.
It's pretty exciting.
It is. Now, before we move on, I want to hear what struck you the most about Wodan AI and their approach to this. What really stood out to you?
You know, for me, it's the vision. It's not just about solving a technical problem.
Right.
It's about this fundamental challenge we have right now.
Yeah.
How do we balance the power of AI with security, privacy, and trust?
It's a tough one.
It is. And they're doing it with really cutting-edge technology and really thoughtful design.
I agree. It's nice to see a company that's not just focused on what they're doing, but why they're doing it.
Absolutely.
They get that the future of AI depends on building systems that people can trust.
Exactly. They're giving individuals and institutions control of their data in a world that's, increasingly data-driven.
We've talked about it a lot, but I feel like we're just scratching the surface. Are you ready to dive even deeper?
Absolutely. Let's do it. The more I learn about this, the more questions I have.
Me too.
And that's a good thing.
It is. It means we're on the right track. We're really pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah, and figuring out how to make AI work for everyone.
That's the goal.
Okay, let's keep digging. And for everyone listening, we encourage you to do the same. Check out Wodan AI's website, read their materials, and really think about this. How could secure AI transform your business, your industry, even your life? It's a question worth asking.
Definitely. One of the things that really jumped out at me when I was reading through all of this stuff was how Wodan AI emphasizes secure data collaboration.
Okay.
It's not just about, protecting individual data, but it's about being able to unlock that potential of collective intelligence, but in a way that preserves privacy.
That's a really good point. It seems like they're really trying to change the whole way that we think about sharing data.
Yeah. Especially in a field like fintech, where it always feels so risky.
Right. Traditionally, sharing sensitive data has always meant this trade-off, right?
Yeah.
You get the benefits of, insights and all that, but you also make yourself more vulnerable. Wodan AI is kind of changing that, saying you can have both. You can collaborate, you can build those stronger models, unlock new possibilities without putting anything at risk.
That kind of secure collaboration, that could have huge ripple effects across the whole fintech ecosystem.
Oh, yeah.
Think about companies sharing data safely.
Yeah.
To come up with, industry-wide solutions for fraud detection or risk assessment.
Exactly. It could lead to this much more robust and resilient financial system that's better equipped to handle, new threats and new challenges as they come up.
But it's not just about avoiding the risks, right? It's about fostering real innovation.
Totally, yeah. When companies feel like they can trust that their data is actually secure, they're more likely to experiment, to try new things, to push those boundaries.
But that's where the breakthroughs happen.
That's where the real breakthroughs happen.
So Wodan AI is kind of making this safe space for innovation.
Yeah.
Where companies can work together without the fear of, exposing themselves or their customers.
That's a good way to put it. They're building that trust into the system.
Okay.
Which is essential for any kind of collaboration.
And it's not just about companies working with each other. They also talk about companies collaborating with their customers.
That's right, yeah. Imagine a world where you could give your financial data to a fintech company.
Yeah.
And they could give you personalized advice or investment strategies.
Right.
But you wouldn't have to worry about it being misused or falling into the wrong hands.
That sounds like a complete game changer.
Yeah.
It's putting people back in control of their data
Yeah.
while still allowing them to use all the power of AI.
Absolutely. It shifts the power dynamic a little bit and creates a more, a more equal and transparent financial system, right?
Yeah.
One where everyone can benefit.
Okay, I'm starting to see how Wodan AI's vision goes beyond just like, coming up with some new tech.
Yeah.
It's about the relationship between data, technology, and society.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. They're not just building a product.
Yeah.
They're beating a movement.
A movement toward a future where things are more secure, more collaborative.
Absolutely.
Where people have more control.
I'm all for that.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like that movement's gaining traction, right? As more and more people understand the risks of sharing data,
right,
they're going to be looking for solutions like this.
Yeah, they're going to demand it.
And the companies that take this approach, those are the ones that are going to succeed.
Right.
They're the ones that will have the trust of their customers, attract the best people, and drive real innovation.
And the ones that try to hold on to the old ways of doing things, the ones that put profits over privacy, they're going to get left behind.
That's a powerful message, and it goes way beyond fintech.
It does, yeah. The future belongs to those who understand that data security is not just a technical thing.
It's a human right.
It's a fundamental human right.
Wodan AI is leading the way, showing everyone that you can have innovation and security.
Yeah.
Collaboration and privacy. It's a pretty inspiring vision. I'm really curious to see how this plays out.
Me too. It's going to be fascinating to watch this space and see how this technology shapes fintech and everything else.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the big picture.
Yeah.
Let's zoom back in on the individual fintech platforms.
Okay.
The company's actually using this technology.
Yeah.
What are the specific benefits that they're seeing?
Well, we've talked about a few, right? Increased security, better collaboration, easier compliance.
Yeah.
But let's dig a little deeper. One big benefit is that it allows them to unlock new data sources. Imagine a lender that wants to use alternative data, like social media or online purchases, to figure out creditworthiness.
Oh, yeah. That's becoming more common now.
It is.
Especially to people who don't have traditional credit scores.
Exactly. But this kind of data is super sensitive. A lot of people don't want to share it.
I don't blame them.
With Wodan AI, lenders can access and analyze all this data without ever seeing it in plain text.
So they get all the insights they need,
Yeah.
but they're still protecting their customers' privacy.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it opens up so many new possibilities.
Elaborate.
We've talked about KYC and fraud detection, but what about other areas?
Yeah.
Where else is Wodan AI making a difference?
Well, one area that I think is really interesting is personalized financial advice.
Okay.
Imagine you have an AI financial advisor that can analyze your whole financial picture, your income, your expenses, investments, goals.
Right.
And then it gives you these recommendations based on all of that.
That sounds amazing.
It does. But, I'd be a little hesitant to give all that info to an AI.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Even a really smart one.
Yeah.
But with Wodan AI, you wouldn't have to. The AI could look at all that data without actually seeing it, thanks to the encryption.
So you get the personalized advice without sacrificing your privacy.
Exactly.
That's pretty incredible.
It is. And it's just one way that Wodan AI is, leading this new era of secure, personalized financial services. But it's really about people.
At the end of the day, it is. It's about making sure their privacy is protected.
Yeah.
Giving them control over their data.
Right.
And creating a world where they can benefit from AI without being afraid.
You said it perfectly. Wodan AI is at the forefront of this.
Yeah.
They're showing that we can have both innovation and security.
And that's a future worth fighting for.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think we've reached the end of our technical deep dive for now.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this conversation?
That's a good question. I think the main thing is this.
Yeah.
The future of AI depends on trust.
Okay.
And that trust comes from transparency, accountability, and doing things ethically.
I couldn't agree more. Wodan AI is a perfect example of how to build AI systems that are powerful and trustworthy. That's something the whole world needs to hear.
It is. And it's something we need to keep talking about as we move toward a future where AI works for us, not the other way around.
Okay. I think it's time to wrap up this episode.
Sounds good. It's been a great journey
Yeah.
exploring the world of secure AI.
It has.
Yeah.
And for everyone listening, keep learning about this stuff.
Yeah.
Join the conversations.
Absolutely.
And demand solutions that put privacy, security, and trust first. Because like we've been saying, the future of AI, I mean, it's too important to just, let it happen.
Right.
We have to shape it in a way that works for everyone.
I totally agree. And what Wodan AI is doing, it's more than just building a product. It's really a whole new way of looking at data security and AI development.
Yeah.
And that could have a huge impact even outside of fintech.
Yeah, that's what's so interesting to me. It could be like a fundamental change in how we think about data security, even the role of AI in society.
What if every industry did this,
Yeah.
Healthcare, education, government. Secure AI everywhere.
It would change everything. The way we live, the way we work, the way we interact with, the world.
Yeah, totally.
It's a big vision, but I think it's something we should be working toward. Okay, I think it's time to wrap things up, but I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay.
We spent a lot of time talking about Wodan AI, the tech, the applications, the benefits, the big picture stuff.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it really comes down to this. What kind of future do we want?
That's a great question. It's a question we all have to ask ourselves, right?
Right. Do we want a future where our data is never safe, where our privacy is disappearing, where AI is used to control us?
Why'd you give us something different?
Yeah. Do we want a future where data is secure, where privacy is respected, where AI is used to help us?
I know what I want.
Me too. And Wodan AI is showing us that that kind of future is possible.
It takes courage, it takes innovation,
Yeah.
but it's a path worth taking.
It's a journey we can all be part of. So as you go about your day, think about the choices you make, the companies you support, the technologies you use. Are you helping to build a future where AI is a force for good?
Because the future, it's not something that just happens. We make it. We create it together.
Well said. And on that note, I think we'll leave you to think about those questions. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into Wodan AI and the future of secure AI.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep pushing for that better future.